Good morning, everyone. Let me first thank everybody for being with us, and I certainly want to start by thanking Dr. Toomey, Director Bryson, Commissioner Berry, General Carden, and Superintendent Woods for their strong leadership during the pandemic. I also, like Director Bryson did want to take just a moment and thank your teams too. I know we don't do that enough, but they have been grinding away every day in the trenches, and for those of you watching this morning, thanks for all that you're doing. These continue to be challenging times in our state and our country, and the recent uptick of COVID-19 cases is literally from coast to coast. It's clear that this fight is far from over. We have come a long way since the pandemic begun, but we also have incredible challenges that remain in front of us. Over the last several weeks, as you know, we've seen a rise in cases, a rise in hospitalization rates, and a rise in the percentage of Georgians testing positive for COVID-19. Hotspots have been popping up at churches, manufacturing plants, and long-term care facilities, and as a state, we are literally tracking this data hourly. While much has changed, we also remain laser focused on protecting both the lives and the livelihoods of all Georgians. Early in this pandemic, we worked closely with hospital administrators to enhance surge capacity. We built a hospital within the Georgia World Congress Center to free up bed space, and as Homer was talking about, we delivered mobile units to targeted regions throughout our state. We've also identified facilities that could flex as patient populations increased. And now, as hospitalizations rise, we are rolling out our strategic plan that we've had in place for a long time to ensure that supply meets demand. Last week, as mentioned earlier, we reactivated the Georgia World Congress Center, which will serve as a step-down unit for area hospitals. We continue to work closely with members of the White House Coronavirus Task Force to plan for future needs. 2 weeks ago, we were honored to host U.S. Surgeon General Jerome Adams, and just last week I spoke with Admiral Giroir about testing capacity and supplies. Yesterday, I met with Dr. Debbie Birx and CDC Director Dr. Robert Redfield to discuss school preparedness as we head into the fall, as Superintendent Woods mentioned. And earlier this week, we announced that Piedmont Atlanta will add 62 beds in the Marcus Tower. I want to thank Kevin Brown and his whole team at Piedmont, as well as the vision of Bernie Marcus and many other Atlanta philanthropists for their forward-thinkingness in planning this tower over 5 years ago. Moving forward, we will continue to add beds where needed. Because of patient profile and treatment options available, hospital stays are now shorter than they were when we first started. We are confident in our plan, which provides the best possible care without bankrupting our hospitals. Rest assured, safeguarding surge capacity remains a top priority of my administration. In the last several weeks, we have witnessed record demand for testing, as Dr. Toomey mentioned. While Georgia is reporting nearly 20,000 tests every single day, we know that more is now needed. We have more than 172 state-run testing sites open, and we will continue to partner with local and private entities to expand access in targeted communities. This was another area we discussed yesterday with Ambassador Birx and Dr. Redfield, and how the feds and the state can continue to work together on this issue. As many in this room have reported, national labs have become backlogged, causing many Georgians to wait days, if not over a week, for their result. This is simply unacceptable, and Georgians deserve better. In the coming days, we will announce a new regional partner who will expand capacity, adding 10,000 more tests a day and providing faster results. As I've said from the beginning, accessible, accurate, and timely testing are key to winning the war against COVID-19. We will continue to do whatever it takes to shake up the status quo and fix this pressing issue. As Georgia continues to boost testing, add hospital beds, deliver PPE, and provide medical staffing, I'm asking Georgians to do their part. After all, it's the community that defeats this virus, not the government. This has been a long, difficult battle for all of us. We have sheltered in place, we've had to distance ourselves from loved ones, and everyone has had to make incredible sacrifices along the way. But we now must reaffirm our commitment to flatten the curve. We need all younger Georgians to recognize the importance of following public health guidance, to realize that their exposure can have serious consequences on their loved ones. We must all do our part to stop the spread. Today, I'm encouraging all Georgians from every corner of the state to do 4 things for 4 weeks. 1, wear a mask when out in public or when you cannot distance yourself inside. 2, practice physical distancing. Stay 6 feet from those you don't live with. 3, continue to wash your hands throughout the day with warm soap and hot water. And 4, follow the executive order and heed the guidance provided by public health officials. If we do these 4 simple but effective actions on a daily basis, we will make incredible progress in the fight against COVID-19. We can protect our loved ones, we can revive our local economy, and we can continue to take measured steps forward. Now, I know that many well-intentioned and well-informed Georgians want a mask mandate. And while we all agree that wearing a mask is effective, I'm confident that Georgians don't need a mandate to do the right thing. I know that Georgians can rise to this challenge, and they will. And I know that Georgians will do their part to defeat this deadly virus. Last week, on a call with mayors and commissioners around the state, I issued a charge to local leaders, and I'll do it again today. Instead of issuing mandates that are confusing and unenforceable, I'm asking all local leaders to enforce the current executive order. Enforce the rules that we have put in place to keep employees and customers safe at local businesses. Enforce the provisions that ensure folks are staying 6 feet apart at large gatherings. Enforce measures to protect the medically fragile. And use your bully pulpit, your social media challenge, and your connections with the local media to help build support for wearing a mask when needed. For our local chambers of commerce, Rotary clubs, and other community organizations, please help us echo this call. Encourage those you represent and urge those you serve to double down and mask up. This pandemic has threatened the health and well-being of our friends and neighbors, creating economic hardship that we haven't seen like this in a very long time. Businesses are literally on the brink of bankruptcy. Thousands have filed for unemployment, and many are left wondering how they will put food on the table, as General Cardin just mentioned. To make matters worse, some had decided to play politics by exploiting these difficult emotional moments for political gain. Yesterday, we filed a lawsuit against the city of Atlanta on behalf of business owners, their employees, and hardworking Georgians throughout the region who continue to struggle to make ends meet. Men and women have seen their paychecks disappear. Fathers, mothers, sisters, and brothers are barely hanging on. Mayor Bottom's mask mandate cannot be enforced, but her decision to shutter businesses and undermine economic growth is devastating. Atlanta businesses are hurting. Violent crime is up, and families are rightfully worried. Just like sending in the National Guard to protect those living in our capital city from crime and violence, I refuse to sit back and watch as disastrous policies threaten the lives and livelihoods of our citizens. We will fight to stop reckless actions and put people over pandemic politics. In closing, I'll leave you with this. We all know it's been an incredibly tough year, and that's quite an understatement. This crisis has threatened our health and well-being. It's undermined our economic prosperity. There is justice that we've seen with our own eyes that must be fixed. There's violence that must be quelled. And when I travel the state, I hear the stories of pain and suffering. But I still sense optimism. And I know that all hope is not lost. I am confident that we are going to weather this storm and we will emerge better for it. I have faith that every Georgian will do their part in the days ahead. I'm confident that we are stronger now than we've ever been, and we cannot let politics divide us. I know that our best days are not very far away, and I also know that we live in the greatest state in the country, in these United States. We can overcome obstacles ahead of us. Be strong and courageous, as the scripture tells us. Hunker down and keep chopping. Thank you very much, and we'll open it up for questions for any of us that are here this morning.